Hello everyone, in this video we see the NFA null. So first question, construct the NFA null for the given regular expression. So this 0 0 plus 1 star 1 0 star. Now we start from the basic. So if we want to draw only 0, so how we draw? This is the initial state. Then here first null is pass and then one state, and this state pass 0, and this is the final state, acceptance state. So simply 0 we draw like this, simply 1. So how we draw the 1? First initial state which pass null value, then one state, then 1, and here acceptance. So simply 1 we draw like this. Now here 2 0 are. So how we draw these 2 zeros? First initial state, then pass null, then this 0, again null. When we put any variable in front of this, null is mentioned. So this 0, then null, then second variable 0, and then acceptance state. So like this we draw for the double 0. Now 1 0, we complete this 0 0. This single 1 is also we complete here, then 1 0. So how we draw this 1 0? 1 0 is equal to first the initial state, then null value, then this 1, then again null value, then 0, and this acceptance state. So I hope all you get idea. Each variable write with the null state. So first null state, then 0 variable, then only 1, first we write null value, then 1, then 0 0. So in front of this 0 0, first we write null state, then 0, again null state 0. One by one we write null and then the variable. Same for here. Now all we one set of variable completed here. Now we want to write this 0 0 plus 1. Step by step we write. So first this 0 0 plus 1. So how we write? 0 0 plus 1. So for that first we put initial value. Okay. Then here 2 null value we pass. One is here, second is here. Then this 0 0 start from this. 0, null value, and again 0, and here is the acceptance, which we write 0 0 here. See, first null value, here is also null value, 0 0, null null, 0 0, and acceptance state. Same for 1. So 1 we draw like this. So here first null value we write here null, then one state, then 1, and this is the acceptance test. So this is the 0 0 plus 1, but here only 0 0 plus 1 is not, 0 0 plus 1 star. So how we write this? 0 0 plus 1 star. So see carefully, here the initial state, then this all right as it is, but difference is we accepted these two state. Instead of accepting these two state, we come back to the initial state, because star and number of 0 0 plus 1 can become. So we not accept directly here, we pass this state again back to the initial state, and again here we accepted. So first initial state is accepted for the star, then here is null value 0, then this 0, then this next state, this null and 0. So null and this 0, but only here state, not we accepted this, only a single state. Now again for here same, this null value 0 and 1. Now this accepted state is connected with this initial state, and same here, this one accepted state connected to this initial state and transfer this null value. So I hope all you get an idea how we draw this 0 0 plus 1 star. When this star is come, that time not accepted this last state, connect this last accepted state to the initial, and initial state is acceptance. So if the question is 1 star, then what we done? Same, null and 1 we write, and this acceptance state connected to this initial state, and this initial state we accepted. So this is the rule for the NFA null. Now 1 we completed here, 0 0 plus 1 star. Now we draw 1 0 star. So already we draw 1 0, now we draw 1 0 star. So how we draw? Only this acceptance state we not accepted here, we pass through it here initial value, and this initial state we accepted, and then we combine these two state. So step by step we move forward. Now 1 0 star, how we draw? As usual, first initial state, but now star is come. So first initial state is our acceptance, then one null value is go, then one state, then 1, again null state, then 0. Now here is not acceptance, this acceptance is now we pass here at the initial, which is pass null, and this is 1 0 star. Now with the help of the 0 0 plus 1 star and this 1 0 star, we draw our final NFA. So as usual, first take the initial state, then we put here null value, because if we directly connect here, then this show the complicated. So we write simply, first we pass one null state, then from this we start to draw the 0 0 plus 1. So here null value is passed, then this null for this 0 0, so null 0, null, then 0, and here is the acceptance state which connect here through this null. Now same for here, this null, then 1 and this, and now this 1 is connected to this initial state by null. So this is our 0 0 plus 1 star. Now this 1 0 star, so we connect this to the another initial state of this 1 0. So this is the initial state for this 1 0, so we pass null value here, and then again as usual we draw first a null state, then 1, then null and 0, and this state is connected to this initial state with null, and this is the final 0 0 plus 1 star into 1 0 star. So this is our final NFA null. I hope all you get idea about this. Now the next question, convert the NFA null to NFA and DFA. So this is the NFA null. So we write here transition table of NFA null. table of NFA null. So here state and here 0 and 1 variable. Sorry, this is the transition table of NFA null. So here we put null. So state and we check where the null is transfer. So first A, B, C, D are the state. A, B, C, D are the state, and now we see where the A transfer null value. So any state transfer null one to the itself and then to the next state. So here A, first it transfer null to the itself, then null transfer to the B, then no. First A transfer null to the itself, then null transfer to the B, and this B transfer null to the D. So the continue A transfer null to the B and then D. So that's why here D is also mentioned. So this is the null set of the A. Now we see B. So B first transfer null to the itself, B, and then for the D we see a transaction. Then C. So C first it transfer to the itself, C, and no any transaction pass through the C. No any null is passed or read by any other state. So only C here mentioned. Now D. D also not transfer null anywhere. So first D is right because null value transfer the state itself first and then the another state. So this is the transition table of NFA null. I hope you all get an idea about this. A transfer first null to the itself, then transfer to the B, and B continuously transfer this null to the D also. So this A transfer this null and again for the D. So that's why here we write ABD, because parallelly this null is transferred in next state. But here B only transfer to the B and D itself. Then C transfer null to the itself and D also transfer null to the itself. So this is the transition table of the NFA null. Now we convert this first NFA and then DFA. So how we convert this NFA? So for that, step by step we move. So first draw here transition table of NFA. We not directly write here transition table of the NFA how we write previously, because here NFA null is come in the picture. So step by step we follow. So here first we see transition table of A. So A, and we first see here two variable we use 0 and 1. So first A transfer to the 0 is equal to null state this A and null value of A and 0 separately. First we separate this 0 by this A, and first we see the null value of the A and then we combine this 0 with A. So this null delta, then null of A means here we see null of A is A, B and D, and then this 0 and now the bracket are the close. Now null value of this delta of A comma 0, then union of delta B comma 0 and union of D comma 0. Now we see where the A read 0. So A read 0 to the itself. So we write here A. This null value is right here A. Then union B read D. B read 0 in C. So this C union this D comma 0, D read 0 by itself. D. Now we write this null value separate. Null of A union null of C. This is the one state. Union this null of D. Now this null A value is A, B, D. So we write here the value of this is null of A is A, B and D. Union null value of C is C, only C, and null value of D is D. Now we perform union on this set. This is the set. Final answer is, so this is nothing but the A, B, D and C. We write sequentially A, B, C and D. Union means combine all this set, but one time, not write double any value. So here is D, here is D, so only one time we write D. So this is the final answer of the A, 0. So we write here transition table of NFA simply. This is the transition table of NFA null and this is the single NFA. So we write here state, then here 0 and 1, because NFA want the variable and state both. Here this is the null values, transition table of the null, and this is the NFA. So first we complete here state A, where we read A and we read A in A, B, C, D. So we write here A, B, C and D. Now we read 1. So delta of A and 1. So as usual, first we want to find out null value of for this A, 1. So and this delta of, first we find out null of A and then this one separately, and this is the equation. Now null of delta, this null of A is A, B, D. So A, B, D, 1. Now null of this delta A, 1 union delta of B, 1 union of delta D, 1. Now null value of A, 1. A read here. A read 1, nothing. This is the empty. So A, null A, 1 is null 5 value. So this is the empty 5. Union B, 1. B read 1 in no. Here is also null value 5. So we write here 5 because B not transfer 1 anywhere. Now union D, 1. So we see here D, 1. Again D not transfer 1 anywhere. So here again value is empty 5. So this is nothing but the null 5. And null 5 means again 5. So A, 1 is 5, means null value. So we write here 5. So I hope all you get idea how we draw this A, 0 and A, 1 for the NFA table. Now same for the B, C, D. All the process are the same. Now we see B, 0 first, then B, 1. So this is nothing but we find out null value of delta for null of B, 0. So null of B is null, B, null is B and D. So we write here null of delta, this null B is B, D and this 0. Now we perform the union. So delta B, 0 union delta B, D, 0. So this null of, now we see B read 0. So here B read 0 in C. So the value of B comma 0 is C. So this is the value 0, sorry, C. B comma 0 is C union this D comma 0. So D read 0 in D itself. So here D. Now we write here null of C union null of D. Now we perform this null on this C and D. So null of C and null of D. So we see here in this null table C comma null is C itself and D read null in D. So CD. So this null C is C union. Now this is the set and this null of D is D. So final answer is C comma D. So we write here B read 0 and in C and D. Now we see B comma 1. Now delta of B comma 1. So this is again nothing but null of delta null B comma 1. What we done? First we give null value for this whole bracket and then separate null for this B state. So this null B is nothing but the null value of B is B and D. So this null of delta B D comma 1. So this is nothing but again delta of B comma 1 union D comma 1. Then we see B comma 1. So B comma 1 is phi null. B not transfer anywhere 1. So this null, the value of B comma 1 is phi union D comma 1. So D also not transfer anywhere 1. So this is again phi means null. D comma 1 is also phi null. So whole is phi. So we write here the value phi. Now same for the C comma 0, C comma 1, D comma 0 and D comma 1. So here again C comma 0. So null of C is C itself and C comma 0 is phi means null. Then C comma 1. C comma 1 means first we see null of C. So null of C again C and C comma 1 is B. We see here C comma 1 is transferred to the B. So that's why we write there B. So B and null of B is BD. Same for the C comma 0, D comma 0. So null of D is D itself and comma 0 is D read 0 by itself. So this is the D and null of D is D. And same for the this D comma 1. So null of D is D and read 1 is phi means null. Now we write these all values in our table. So C comma 0 is phi and C comma 1 is B D. Then D comma 0 is D, D comma 1 is phi null. So in this way we draw transition table of NFA. Now by using this table we draw the NFA. So as we see here in our NFA null, A is the initial state, D is the final state. So same for this NFA also. So A is the initial state, so we draw A first. A is the initial state. A is the initial state. Now A read 0 in A, B, C, D. 4 different state. And as this is the NFA, this is possible. So A read 0 to the first A, B, then C, this is all 0 read, and D 0. Now we see A read 1. So A read 1 is 5 means null. So we move for the B state. So B read 0 in CD and B read 1 in 5. So this is again null. Only we draw the B which reads C and D. So B read 0 in C and D. B not read 1. Now we see C. So C read 0 is null and C read 1 in BD. So we not draw now 0 because this is the null. We draw 1 for the C and this is transfer in B and D. So C transfer 1 to the B and D. Now D state. So D read 0 in D and D read 1 in null. So we only draw this D means itself. It read 0. So here is the 0 and D is our final state. So we draw here double circle. Here one more concept we missing for find out the final state. D is the final state, but any other is the final state or not. That's why one formula is here, acceptance state. I write here AC in short. So acceptance state is equal to final state intersection of null of initial state is not equal to phi. If initial state, null of initial state and the intersection of the final state are not equal to phi, then the initial state is also acceptance state. So we check here, our final state is D. Intersection, our initial state is A. Initial state is A here. Now null of A is, we see ABCD. D of intersection, null of A we see in our, so null of A is ABD. So I write this A, B and D. So when we perform intersection here, then D and D both are the present and the intersection says which element are the common, write these elements. So D is the intersection element, so it is not null, it is the value which is D. So our A is also now the acceptance state. So we draw here as acceptance. So this is the final NFA. So when the question is come, that time this equation is also checked where the only one acceptance state is present in NFA or multiple acceptance state are the present. By using this formula, this is the final state which is our D and Q naught is initial state. Then check null of A and then intersection perform. And if any value is not present, means this is the suppose C and this is ABD, then intersection is not performed because here C is present, here C is not present. That time null value is come, and if null value is come, that time initial state means A is not our acceptance state because the null value is come. And this says that if initial state is acceptance, that time this is not equal to phi, means anytime any one value is come. Now we convert the NFA null to the DFA. So second, convert NFA null to DFA. So as usual we start for the initial state. This is the state and this is 0 and 1. So initial state, so we not directly write here, we pass through the some methods. So first we check A comma 0. So this is again, as we know, delta of null of A 0. This is also null. Now we check null of A. So null of A is ABD. So null of delta A B D comma 0. So null of delta A comma 0 union delta of B comma 0 union delta of D comma 0. Now null of A comma 0. So A transfer 0 to the A itself. So here A union this B comma 0. So B transfer 0 to the C. So C union this D comma 0. So D transfer 0 to the D. So D. Now null of A union null of C union null of D. So null of A, here we know ABD, A B D union. Now this is the set. Null of A is ABD, null of C is C, and null of D is D. So we write here null of A. Now null of C is C itself, and union null of D itself. Now we write union means we write all this state combined. So this A, B, C and D. So A comma 0 is A, B, C, D. Right here A comma B comma C comma D. And now we see for the A comma 1. Now you say all these steps are the same for the NFA and DFA? No, only first initial state is same. Then all the rules are the change for the DFA. We see further. Now we write for the A comma 1. Then this null of A comma 1. Now null of A is ABD comma 1. Now A comma 1 union B comma 1 union D comma 1. Now A comma 1 is A read 1 null, A not transfer anywhere 1. So null of phi union B comma 1. So B not transfer anywhere 1. So this is again phi null. So phi and delta of D comma 1. This delta is nothing but the transaction, and this null is separate and this delta is separate. Delta of A comma D, D comma 1. D is also not transferred by the D, so this is again phi means null. So union phi. So this null of phi means phi. We write A comma 1 is phi. So A comma 1 is phi. But in NFA after A we take B then C, D. We all this state take as it is. But in DFA we not doing this. We now take this first transaction as a state, whole state. So this A, B, C and D is one state now. So in this way, I hope now you get idea what we perform here next. All one by one transaction we put as a our state, and then we perform all this transaction for the 0 and 1. So now we put this A, B, C, D delta of this comma 0. Now this one state comma 0 we see. So for that how we perform this? Null of delta null of A union null of B union null of C comma 0. Now null of A is, as we know, A, B and D union, this is the one state, union null of B. So null of B is BD, null of C is C and null of D is D. So null of B is BD union null of C is C. We here forgot to write null of D also. Here is null of D present. Null of D is D and comma 0. So this union is nothing but again we get A, B, C, D. So delta of A, B, C and D. This is the set comma 0. So the process is this simple. First you put all the null of state each state and then perform the delta of 0 or delta of 1 with that all states. So null of now delta of A comma 0 union delta of B comma 0 union delta of C comma 0 and union delta of D comma 0. Now this null of now we see delta A comma 0. Transaction of 0 in A is A itself. Now transaction of B transfer 0 in C and C transfer 0 null and D transfer 0 is D itself. So A read 0 in B, B read 0 in C union C comma 0 is null phi union this D comma 0 is D itself. Now we give this separate null this null value to each state. The null of B union null of C union null of phi union null of D. Now null of B is nothing but this BD. Null of C is C, null of D is D. So null of B is BD union null of C is C union null of phi is phi union null of D is D. Now we perform the intersection union. So this B, C and D. So this state of ABCD comma 0 is BCD. One mistake we done here. A comma 0 read by A itself. So here by mistakenly we put here B and B comma 0 read in C. We see here B comma 0 read in C. C comma 0 is null and D comma 0 is D. So this A, now this here is the A, null of A and null of A is nothing but the ABCD, A, B, C and D. We see here null of A is ABD, null of A is ABD. So null of A is ABD, null of C is C, null of phi is phi, null of D is D. So this is now union. When we perform then this A, B, this D and this C. So the final answer of this delta of A, B, C, D comma 0 is A, B, C and D itself. So we write here A, B, C, D read 0 in A, B, C, D itself. Now we see A, B, C, D comma 1. So delta of A, B, C, D comma 1. So same procedure follow. Null of delta of null of A union null of first give all the null for each state in inner side. Null of B union null of C union null of D comma 1. So this null of A is null of delta null of A is A, B, D. union null of B is, we see null of A is ABD, null of B is BD, null of C is C, and null of D is D. So null of B is BD, union null of C is C, null of D is D, comma 1. So we perform union on this, so we get again ABCD, because ABD, BD is come here also, this C we add, and D is also we write. So A, B, C, D, comma 1. Now step by step, null of delta A comma 1 union delta B comma 1 union C comma 1 union D comma 1. So it we get 0. We perform, because A read 1 is null, we not read anywhere. B comma 1 is also null, C comma 1 is B, and D comma 1 is null. So only C comma 1 we get value B. So first this is the null, A not read 1 union B also not read 1, so this is also null, union C comma 1 which is read B, union this D comma 1 is also null. So here null of B only, because this 5 we not write. So null of B is BD. So final answer is BD. So ABCD comma 1 is the BD. So we write here BD. Now the next step, which step we take? First we ABCD is completed, null value we not consider. Then again BCD we put here ABCD. Now BD is come. So we write here BD as a one state. So this is our one state, this is one state, this is whole one state, this is whole one state. So we follow the DFA rule, where at a time only one variable transferred to the one state only. So again this same procedure we follow for the BD. First we write read 0, then BD read 1. Now I hope all you aware about how we find out the state. Means now B comma D 0 is again null of delta of null of BD. Then we give null B and null D separately. Then we find out null of B and null of D. Then we perform the union with 0, and in the same way we find out all this state further. So I am not repeat again and again, directly I show in my notebook. So value of BD comma 0 is CD and BD comma 1 is 5. If any doubt, then let me know in the comment box. Now I am not solve all these steps one by one, because 2-3 steps I give the idea to you. Now please cooperate. So B comma D 0 and B comma D 1 is CD and 5. So here C, D and 5. Now BD is completed. Now CD state. So this is the one state CD. Again we check CD 0 and CD 1. Now CD comma 0 is D and CD comma 1 is BD. So CD is D and 1 is BD. Now we complete CD. Null value is not considered. Now only D is come. So we put D as a state. So same we see D, null D 0, and this is the D and this is the 5. D comma 1 is 5 null. So D is D and here 5. Now we complete D, then BD also we previously complete. Now D again with D we consider, and this null. So we all state we cover now. No any state is remaining. Now we draw this DFA by using this table. So as I say, one more step we see here, as our initial state is acceptance or not. So again same formula, F intersection null of Q naught is not equal to phi. So initial state is A, final state is D union null of A. So null of A, as we know, null of A is ABD. So D intersection A B D. So intersection means common value we put. So D is the common. So it is not equal to phi. So A is also our acceptance state. So we start with A. So A read 0 in A B C D, and A read 1 phi means nothing. So first A is the initial state, and which is acceptance state as well, because we proved there our initial state is a acceptance state. Now this read 0 in A, B, C and D. This is the one state, and 1 is not read by any state for A. Now this ABCD read 0 in ABCD and 1 in BD state. So this 0 is read itself, because this is also ABCD, and 1 is read in BD. So B and D is the another state where we read 1. Now BD read 0 in CD and BD read 1 in phi means null. So only we draw CD for the 0. So here 0 is read by C and D. Now CD read 0 in D, CD read 1 in BD. So CD read 0 in D and 1 in BD. Now this D, sorry, here BD we already draw here, so only we show the transaction of 1. Now D read 0 in D, D read 1 in null. So D read 0 by itself and 1 is not read. So this is our DFA, and here D is the acceptance state. So this is our final DFA. So I hope all you get now idea how we draw NFA, DFA and null NFA. So we stop here now. Thank you.